This example looks at how you really exercise the power of the Compare Tariffs app. So imagine a scenario where you want to vary your solar panels, but everything else should be the same. So you've got three, maybe four different what if usage scenarios, and the only thing that you want to vary is the across those four scenarios is the solar panel configuration. So you're trying to understand what is the best configuration of solar panels that you can have for yourself. So in order to do that, if you don't have the ability to link, you need to make multiple copies of each one, and that can be a bit of a pain in the back end, to say the least. So the app allows you to actually link aspects of a what if usage scenario, and we can explore that here. So if we start with copy test, which we created in the last video, we can see it has a load profile, an inverter, and a load profile, an inverter, and some panels defined. So I'm now going to come back out, and I'm actually just going to copy this copy test. So I'll have copy test, and I'm going to call it link test. And I'm going to save that off. And as usual, I don't have solar data. So if I come in here, so if I go back to my link test, there's a crash there. I'll have to go and fix that. This is a link test. So if I go into my panel data, I can see that I have panels defined. Now, the first thing I want to do is to delete these because they're only a distraction. So I go into edit mode and delete and delete. So now I have no panels in my link test. And now I'll save that off, go back into edit mode, and now I'm going to actually link. So I want to link from copy test. So this gives me now two panels, panel 1, panel 2, and the nice thing I see when I link is that I actually don't have to download the panel data for these, they're linked. The other thing to note is that in the bottom left hand corner we now have a link indication that tells us that this panel is linked, and if you click on it, it should tell you the what if usage scenarios that is linked to. It'll only stay up for a second or two, so keep your eyes open. So I'll save this off, and then I'll come back out and it should run the simulation. Now, if I go back into it again, and I want to increase the number of panels that I have, say to 11, and save that off, fetch and update the data. That's good. And then go into my second series of panels, and I'll put 12 on this just for fun, and save that off, and then update the data. There we go, I missed the click, and then come back out. I can see that in my panels link test, I now have 11 and 12 panels. And if I come back out of that, it should run the simulation, changes everything a little bit. And then what I would like to do is to confirm that this also changed my copy test, which is what I was linked to. So if I go into my panels, and I see that in fact I have only two sets of panels. So I haven't added, and I still, oh yes, sorry, I have two sets of panels, and that this has been updated to 11 and 12. So if I come back out, edit, save, come back out, you should also rerun the simulation, and you can see the value changed as well. It doesn't automatically rerun the simulation for you, so you need to edit and change something. That's something else I should work on in the app. But apart from that little niggle, you can see how the linking works. So the other thing that you should be aware of is when you are changing these things, so copy test and link test, when I go to compare, I don't need everything. It's just distracting to see everything because that's not the type of mode I'm in. I'll just leave one panel or one and these two were exactly the same. So the copy test and the link test, I hadn't changed anything else. But when you want to export these, so export comparisons, it brings me up an option to save my CSV file. And so after each variation of your link, you should save off your CSV file so you can merge them into your spreadsheet of choice and then do further analysis. As I said, this is when you get heavily into doing cost comparisons and scenario comparisons. It's a much easier way to vary one thing in a set of fixed or more or less the same scenarios. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for listening.